Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this video. Today is Wednesday, the 8th day of October 2025. The Federal High Court Abuja has adjourned Nnamdi Kanu's trial to 16th day of October, pending when the Nigerian Medical Association will submit their report about Nnamdi Kanu's health. Now, I have beginning to ask, if a health record could just take time more than 1 month, they are still preparing health record. I don't have confidence in such health record. Watch out. The health record or the testament of Nnamdi Kanu's health that the Nigerian Medical Association is going to produce, it will not satisfy Justice James Omotosho to allow Nnamdi Kanu to go to hospital. Mark it somewhere. Because every now and then, every corner, the fast finger, which is the federal government of Nigeria, are everywhere looking for a way to stop Nnamdi Kanu's release and possible way of going to hospital out of DSS detention. But I think what is needed now is iron fist. What do I mean by iron fist? I do not have confidence that this court will have a way of freeing Nnamdi Kanu because Court of Appeal discharged him and acquit him before. The federal government did what? They started appealing, started changing judges. So what will change this time around? And I think people need to show capacity. And that is where I have come to buy the idea of Sowore, that it's not all about politicians coming out to say, I'm talking with Tinubu. Tinubu will release Nnamdi Kanu very soon. Very soon has become 5 years. Very soon. So it's not a matter of talking. So Sowore have challenged them that you've got to come out. Let's have a date. Let's march to Aso Rock. And let me tell you, this is the importance of this protest. A protest where politicians are in the forefront. Police cannot mess up. Police cannot shoot. Police cannot do anything. So it's an avenue for those people who want to participate in the protest to troop out and support the politicians, Sowore, and the rest of them that are going to be on ground for this protest. So do not be scared because this is not IPOB protest that you will say that the military will begin to shoot, the police will begin to shoot. No. So if politicians will be at the forefront, that will make sense. There is also a report that Sowore have confirmed contact with Abia Assembly. Abia State House of Assembly. He says the lawmakers are to set the date for their Aso Rock protest over Nnamdi Kanu's detention. So it is also a good thing that Abia State House of Assembly are finding interest and reason to what Sowore said. So Sowore said that he will wait that Abia State House of Assembly, as they said, to fix a date. So when they fix a date, the lawmakers will be there. I don't know whether OT will be there. I don't know whether other people will be there. But at least Obi Agbocha, the House of Rep representing Nnamdi Kanu, abdicated interest, he will be there live and direct. Aloy Jimaka and the rest of them will be there. So I think this is the right time to do this because I am trying to figure out something. You see how Agbocha was manhandled in the House of Rep when he raised the issue of Nnamdi Kanu yesterday, that House of Rep should pass a resolution to allow Nnamdi Kanu to go for treatment. So you see how he was manhandled and the motion was stepped down. So there is a very high magnitude of conspiracy against Nnamdi Kanu by so many people. And I think sitting on the bench, sitting on the fence or window calling for his detention is not enough. So this is a very big move. And I think this protest should not be one. Let them send a message. And another thing that I am looking into is this. You see, right from time, IPOB has refrained from so many things like civil disobedience they are doing and so on and so forth because of the detention of Nnamdi Kanu. I'm beginning to think that so many people who don't want Nnamdi Kanu to be released are one way or the other sponsoring insecurity in the southeast. Reason because before Nnamdi Kanu's detention, insecurity in the southeast is not like this. It's only few invaders that led to the establishment of ESM vigilantes in the bush. Today, everybody is establishing vigilante because of bandits. That was what happened. Bandits first invaded Igbo land. Nobody will tell you this. The bandits, they first invaded Igbo land before they even come to Kwara and all this place. But people pushed them back. That was the essence of ESN. Now, the detention of Nnamdi Kanu made politicians to start using armed men, arming people. You can see so many confessions from a lot of people. So, a lot of people, politicians from the southeast, they don't want Nnamdi Kanu detention. They know that they are sponsoring insecurity. Okay, let Nnamdi Kanu be free and see what will come out. Is it not Hope Uzodinma that Gentle said that he contracted him to go and kill Ugochire? How does that to do with IPOB and Nnamdi Kanu? Gentle said he did not go, that Hope Uzodinma sent another person to go and kill Ugochire, and Ugochire was assassinated and he escaped. There was an attempted assassination, I mean to say, and he escaped the assassination. So if they have killed him, they will say IPOB have killed him. What these politicians are hiding that made them not to, put mouth in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, you don't know. But we are on social media. People are saying Nnamdi Kanu committed atrocities. Atro-waiting. Do you know what you are saying? Atro-waiting. People who imported terrorists into the country, they came to national television to say that they imported the terrorists and they are walking free. You are kidnapping them. You are an aid to them. And you have the guts to come out to say Nnamdi Kanu committed atrocities. That is exhibition of foolishness. The most foolish people on the internet are those people. Have Nigerian government been able to find Nnamdi Kanu guilty? I am in possession of 3 court judgments. Federal High Court Abia, Court of Appeal Abuja, and Federal High Court Enugu. 3 of them exonerated and acquitted Nnamdi Kanu. So if I'm saying, I'm talking from legal background, we have 3 court judgments. Now, the Supreme Court makes it 4 judgments. Supreme Court did not find Nnamdi Kanu guilty. Now, Supreme Court passed a resolution that they should go back to Federal High Court where they are today. Almighty federal government for 10 years have not been able to find him guilty. And someone will come out to say he committed atrocity. DSS said they have never found him with gun or with anything. So by importing a radio equipment, is that a crime? Oh, his broadcast, like what DSS is charging him for, that he made a broadcast. He made a broadcast and asked people to do this, to do that. So when these politicians, when they will come out, they will say this, they will say that, who have held them accountable? You people are joking. You joke too much. Now, just a quick one. This is an article from Sowore Reporters that Sowore confirms contact with Abia Assembly, says lawmakers to set date for Aso Rock protest over Nnamdi Kanu's detention. This is the details of the article. Stay with me. The human rights activist Omoyinde Sowore has announced that the Abia State House of Assembly is preparing to fix a date for a mass protest at the Aso Rock presidential villa over the continued detention and worsening health condition of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. In a post on his verified social media account on Wednesday, Sowore wrote, "I have contacted the Deputy Speaker of the Abia State House of Assembly, and he informed me that they are entering a plenary session to choose a date for the protest at the Aso Rock Villa for free Nnamdi Kanu." Now, out of the article, we'll go back to read now. Whether you like Omoyinde Sowore, you don't like him. Sowore have been nobody is perfect, but he have been standing for justice for so many people. Sowore is the only person I see that have attended all the whole court session of Nnamdi Kanu until the Federal High Court judge bound him not to come again. That is a threat. So, Sowore for me has paid his dues when it comes to Nnamdi Kanu's detention. There are so many people who claim their brothers to Nnamdi Kanu, who claim their friends, their relatives, they are this, they are that, they are Ndigbos, or they are this, or Hanes Ndigbos and co. They have never moved an inch about Nnamdi Kanu. Why? Because somebody like Omahe, somebody like Enugu State Governor, somebody like Hope Uzodinma and Soludo, these people don't want Nnamdi Kanu to be released. I am saying it. I, Coach Happy myself, I said Enugu State Governor, someone like Soludo, Omahe, number 1, with Hope Uzodinma. These people don't want Nnamdi Kanu to be released. And I am saying this because they proscribe. Even though Enugu and, what is it called, Soludo and Hope Uzodinma have not been governor then. I think Hope Uzodinma was there, Omahe was there, people who proscribe IPOB. A very peaceful association who were doing nothing. Just to know we saw on the street protesting peacefully, you proscribe them. And you leave the bandits who invaded your communities and proscribe IPOB. They were afraid. Afraid of Nnamdi Kanu. Afraid of his influence. Like, they were so afraid. This guy is taking Igbo land. This guy, when he say people should sit down, people will sit down. If this guy is against me, I can't win governorship election. These are the, what led to the proscription of IPOB. And after that, they asked Buhari, we have to capture this man. If not, he will not allow us to vote for you. Have Buhari have APC ever money than before? That was the trick. And after that, they say, if we vote, next time they will make Igbo people president. Hey, Hey, politics and religion. It is well. So the article continues, but let me stop it here. Enough is enough. Enough of all these things. Now, if you people do what you want to do with Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu's release is only advantage to Igbo people. Nnamdi Kanu's release is only advantage to people. Nnamdi Kanu's release is only advantage, it's not a disadvantage. You people don't know what is coming. See, we are not saying all these things because just we want Kanu's, detention. Like me, as you see me, I am not afraid of anybody, and I don't say something because what am I going to gain, Seth? Okay, what am I going to gain? Even though Kanu is released today, what am I going to gain? But this is all about justice. It's all about justice. What is the name of that Islamic leader, Zalizeki, something like that? That time we were calling for his release as well. This is what people did not understand because there was injustice against him, a Muslim, and we saw that they were maltreating him because he's a shy Muslim. So it's not like other Muslims. Buhari's administration were persecuting him. We stood for him. We called for his release. So it's not because Nnamdi Kanu is Igbo. No. People get it wrong all the time. It's about justice. The injustice, you refuse to fight today will come against you tomorrow. Nobody knows who is next. The Meyeti Allah leader who confessed that his people killed. Confess. When I mean confess, I want you to calm down and think. Confession is an admission of an offense. DSS arrested him. Do you know when they released him? They released him in a hand. They released him. Nobody talks about that. But this one is about Nnamdi Kanu. All hair is being loosed and people are sponsoring, talking rubbish on social media. Well, step by step, whatever everyone sowed, he shall reap. Let me know what you think about this.
So, if anybody, when Nigerian citizens see the details of the Supreme Court statement today, they will marvel at how, after saying all these illegalities that the federal government and their security agencies committed, all they had to do was that the primary court said, the appeal court said that the primary court had no jurisdiction. So they condemned the appeal court for taking that decision. Therefore, because the primary court had jurisdiction, the case should go back to them. So if in all these atrocities they committed, they had killed Nnamdi Kanu, what will be the basis of the primary court and its jurisdiction? What will be the basis of it? When I studied, I talked about judicial rascality. So what it empowers is security rascality. Because you cannot tell other police, army, navy, air force, condemn them plainly, and then you exonerate them. So you give them license to kill Nigerians, just like they are doing in Plateau, killing people. They are doing in Benue. Herdsmen are killing people. But you haven't had any person in this country condemn the herdsmen of Nigeria for killing hundreds of thousands of Nigerians. You haven't had them condemn the killings in southern Kaduna. So the security agencies are being encouraged to recklessness. And recklessness is not about spoken word. Recklessness with gun, killing Nigerian citizens. So if anybody, when Nigerian citizens see the details of the Supreme Court statement today, they will marvel at how, after saying all these illegalities that the federal government and their security agencies committed, all they had to do was that the primary court said, the appeal court said that the primary court had no jurisdiction. So they condemned the appeal court for taking that decision. Therefore, because the primary court had jurisdiction, the case should go back to them. So if in all these atrocities they committed, they had killed Nnamdi Kanu, what will be the basis of the primary court and its jurisdiction? What will be the basis of it? And look at the whole panel, about 7 judges, not one Igbo man, not one person from the southeast, not one person from the south. So it's a contrived business to put that boy, to put him behind bar. And we have been asking that they should turn him to Kuje prison. They refuse. Why wouldn't they allow him to go to Kuje prison? Why keep him at the DSS? Why? So it shows you that Nigeria is not interested in fighting insecurity. Because if they were interested and they love this country, they would have seen that Nnamdi Kanu is a major instrument that will bring security. Southeast will be a beginning. the other parts of the country, it would have been a follow-up. So it's unfortunate that you condemn security forces for the crimes they commit, and you exonerate them by keeping Nnamdi Kanu there and asking that we go back again, to start case from, Federal High Court Abuja. What actually is the sin of Nnamdi Kanu? Asking for justice for everything. That's what he's saying. That the Southeast has been completely, excommunicated from everything that happens in this country. So we pray that this young man, I don't know whether you have had the privilege to speak with him, one of the most brilliant young men you can ever come across. Not only is he brilliant, but well spoken. Why this country shows you that we have no values. Can you imagine a boy that a whole zone respects? A whole zone respects him. Who else, apart from M.I. Okpara in those days and Dr. Nnamdi Kanu, they don't have as much respect as this young man. That would have been an advantage for Tinubu and his government with the National Security Advisor to say, look, how do we seriously start to curb this insecurity in the country? If this boy is so loved by his people, why don't we sit him down and discuss with him, know where he's coming from? If there are things he's agitating against we can solve, we start doing something. And look at Northwest and Northeast. Look at where the country is today. Everywhere is war, killing people. Killing is no more, it's an admirable, concept in Nigeria now. Any day nobody is killed, you don't hear it, then it's abnormal. But the normal day, hundreds killed in herdsmen in Plateau Plateau, in southern Kaduna, in the southeast, then not to talk of the bandits and Boko Haram in northeast and northwest. That one is a daily occurrence, killing hundreds of them. We're a country without statistics. If we have good statistics, people will riot to know the number of Nigerians who are dying. Every town now, in all parts of the country, people are burying people. People go to bed, they won't wake up. So it's all cumulative effect of total insecurity. Probably you do work somewhere, nobody pays you. You are working for somebody, you are not paid. You go to bed, you are thinking of what you will tell your wife in the morning. You can't pay school fees. The man goes to bed and won't wake up. And will say, God, please take my life. Why am I living? When a man cannot take care of his immediate family, what life is it anymore? And you don't want people to react. Young men leave school, no work. And they see somebody who rigged an election and goes to Abuja and he buys a armored plated jeep for 160 million, and you want him to go and sleep. His parents sell their property to train our young men and women, and they come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. They can't say good morning, thank you to their parents. They will look at their parents without any hope of tomorrow. Parents who have trained their children, we should have hope that their children should get back to take care of them. But it's not the case in Nigeria. And we don't have our legislators are not interested. Executive all over the place are not interested. So I don't know how this problem will be sorted out. I normally find it very difficult to discuss a profession that I'm not one. But common sense also tells you that you can reason. If somebody is talking, you can reason. But it's painful because some patriotic Igbos, I saw 1 or 2 senators there who left everything they were doing to come to the Supreme Court with some hope. Because if you listen to the judgment of the appeal court, it was fundamentally very literate, accommodating on every aspect of it. So people were very hopeful that the appeal court would uphold the judgment of the Court of Appeal. The Supreme Court will uphold the judgment of the Court of Appeal, and that would have been a case done for. But unfortunately, because if you were in the Supreme Court, like I was, we were there as early as 8:30 in the morning. And when he started running this judgment, on every aspect of that case, he condemned it. The Supreme Court condemned the federal government of Nigeria. In fact, they used the word illegality not less than 20 times. The killing of people at Nnamdi Kanu's father's compound, they even named the number of people killed, the rendition from Kenya, how he was kidnapped. It was difficult to believe that after condemning the security services for unauthorized and unorthodox behavior, kidnapping Nigerians and killing people anyhow, I have never seen a court with that kind of finality in terms of condemning public officers who were working for government, telling them, you don't take the laws into your hands, only to finally, because they said they disagreed with the appeal court that the lower court had no jurisdiction. It was the basis of what they are doing, that they should now go back to that court because it has jurisdiction to hear the case in the first place. That's just a matter of. So if Nnamdi Kanu dies, after all this illegality, what case are they going to hear? This boy has been under detention for how many years now? Even the Supreme Court was asking all these questions too. The illegality that has been meted against him, and yet they still will go back again to the federal high courts, where we then will start begging for bail. Even condemned the government, that court, for revoking his bail. That was the exact statement of the Supreme Court. So you don't even know the basis of their final decision. So when people say that there is a judicial rascality in this country, you cannot but agree with those people, because unless it affects you, you won't appreciate why they said so. Because when you at the whole Supreme Court, everybody bent his face down. All lawyers were so astonished. To talk of embarrassment is an understatement. But in all cases, as a Christian, we give glory to God.